even though some of them may be called the past or the future from your linear perspective.
So the question, I guess, is how common is that? And
Very.
Very common. Okay,
Yes.
so would most...
All of you, every single one of you, have connections to other realities, other dimensions that you are downloading information and energy from. The concept of the starseed really isn't so much a description of the specific physical nature of these connections or the mechanical arrangement of these connections, because you all have it. The idea of the starseed is the degree of awareness you have of those connections as they exist. Does that make sense?
Yes, and what's the significance of being more aware of that?
It's more reflective of the idea of a holistic point of view, that you are seeing more of yourself simultaneously in much similar fashion to what we described in the chess analogy of seeing many moves ahead simultaneously, seeing many parallel realities all at once, which gives you a greater sense of what you as a being actually are. And thus then you can draw consciously upon more of those connections and apply those connections and the information you download from them more effectively in your physical reality here, even as many of those connections are drawing upon you and other connections to download information that serves them in their incarnational experiences.
Excellent.
Yes?
That's helpful. May I ask one other thing?
That was a question.
So we're up to 4. Can I go for 5?
That was another question. Would you like to try for 6? Just ask the question.
Scanning my energy, is there anything that you would like to say to me or that you would find helpful, that I would find helpful personally?
Are you acting on your highest excitement to the best of your ability every moment that you possibly can with no assumptions or insistence or expectation to the outcome?
Mostly.
That means no. Therefore, I would ask you to survey and investigate those areas of your life where you are holding back. For it is those areas you need to look at, and in discovering what it is that you are choosing to hold yourself back with, you will discover ways of releasing those things and becoming even fuller.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was going to ask you a question about what I was not seeing, what I was not accepting, or what I haven't learned.
But I just answered it, didn't I?
Yes.
How synchronous of us.
So now that leaves me without a question. I just wanted to check in and make
You
sure.
can make a statement. I will tell you a secret we have told to a few other people, and that is sometimes when you choose to make a statement instead of asking a question, you actually open up more doors that we can access more information through.
Then I would love to make a statement.
Then make a statement.
And my statement is that I've discovered that the reason my physical health is not all it can be is because I've been stubborn and not doing my work with the full joy, with no expectation of outcome.
And why have you chosen to do that up to this point? What have you been afraid of, in other words?
Exposure.
Exposure! You mean you're going to be naked?
Well, not physically, but yes.
And what is wrong with allowing people to know who you are?
They come after you.
They do.
They do.
And what does that have to do with what you experience in your life?
Wow.
You want help with that answer?
Yes, sir.
Nothing. It has nothing to do with anything if you choose to see it that way. You understand?
I do, yes.
There will always, for a time, on your world, in the way you experience it, there will always, for a time, be those who will not like what you have to say, who will not allow you to be you. You know why? Because when you are being you as fully as you can, you are a constant reminder to those who are not being themselves that they are not being themselves, and they don't like being reminded of that.
I got it.
You understand?
I do, yes.
But that is the greatest service you can actually provide them, because at least by example, you're giving them an opportunity to see through you that they could choose to be more fully themselves, even if they don't choose to.
Well,
By
sir,
not being yourself, you are removing that opportunity from them. You are only reinforcing their choice to be afraid to be themselves. So at first, they may rebel against seeing an example, because by coming from a negative state, they only see the idea in a negative way. In other words, they're saying, you're rubbing my nose in what it is I am too afraid to do, and I resent you for that. Good impression, yes? And so the idea is that they're coming from a negative state to begin with, and so that's the only way they can see it. But the more you are yourself, the more unconditionally compassionate and loving you will be, and maybe, just maybe, eventually, they will get tired of being such curmudgeons and will actually say, you know, she has something going for her, it's working for her, maybe it will work for me. And then you have given them an opportunity to make a different choice. But if you withhold that, you're only reinforcing the same fear and saying, it's all right to stay there, I'm there too. Misery loves company.
Well, I'm going to say wow, because now I feel like a really big hypocrite.
No.
Well, no, one of the things I teach all the time to
Yes.
all of the people I work with is when you show up for yourself,
Yes.
you give others the opportunity to show up for themselves.
Absolutely.
And you said the same thing, only better. And
Just
it's-
different.
Okay, well, different. And
Every
so-
single one of you is a gift. Do not deprive others of the gift of your being. You know the story, many of you perhaps, of the idea of the people sitting around a pot with different pictures on it. Do you know that story?
I do not.
A tribe is sitting around a large cooking pot, and on the cooking pot are painted many different kinds of images of their history. And as they sit around and sharing the meal, each one of them says what it is they are seeing the particular image of on their side of the pot. But if the person on the other side of the pot doesn't share their image, you don't have the whole history. You don't have the complete picture. You're leaving something out and depriving others of understanding their heritage.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So, say what's on your side of the pot so everyone can share the meal and enjoy the feast. Yes?
Yes.
Sound like fun?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's great to be in your energy again, Bashar.
Well, thank you.
I'm gonna
Good
choose
day to you.
Thank you. I'm going to choose to speak technical today.
Technical. All right.
So,
Talk tech.
continuing from our previous conversation earlier this year, I'm left with questions about gravity
Yes.
and about the nested capacitor design.
Yes.
So we spoke about the prime radiant
Yes.
and its relationship to the.
You've just lost half the audience.
You wish to explain then?
Prime radiant, very briefly, is simply the idea that if you imagine, and this is just an analogy, imagine a single particle in all of existence. If you wish, imagine one tiny little subatomic particle in a big black void. Nothing else exists. This one tiny particle, because it's the only thing, has no rules. It can go as fast as it wants. If it travels thus then at infinite speed throughout this black void, in whatever pattern it wishes, it will appear to be many particles all at once, because it's going so fast, it can appear next to itself over and over and over again at the same time. This is how reality is structured, and that's why you literally are made of the same thing that everyone and everything else is. This is the prime radiant idea from our civilization. Please continue.
Correct. So you spoke about structure.
Yes.
And in our conversation, we related the prime radiant to gravity.
In a sense, yes, there is an aspect of that, obviously, that creates what you experience as gravity, yes.
Okay, so in the idea of the fabric of space and time,
Yes.
gravity appears to be an energy of high vibrational quality.
Yes.
Why? Because it bends it,
Well, so to speak, yes.
at least to our modern day scientists. And it's still very misunderstood.
Oh, yes.
Or highly non-understood.
Yes.
So could you expand on a little more on the nature of gravity, how to create it, handle
Yes.
it, harness it, and manipulate it?
Turn around and look at the holotope. Do you see the holotope?
Yes.
Do you see the geometric pattern?
The fractal, yes.
Do you see where the lines cross each other and where they don't?
Yes.
The idea is that where the lines cross each other the most is what you call the crystallization of energy down into matter. The idea is that the relationship of those nodal points is gravity. Do you understand this analogy?
Yes.
Then there you go. Allow yourself to understand how the nodal points are reflective of the matrix in which the material exists, and you will understand how to stretch and bend those nodal points according to certain geometric patterns, such as Fibonacci spirals. So when you understand the idea of Fibonacci spirals and how they overlap and create overlapping nodal points and cross each other again and again and again in certain ways and expand in certain ways, you will understand everything you need to know about the ideas of gravity, about the ideas of dark matter, about the ideas of dark energy, and why what you call your physical universe seems to be accelerating instead of slowing down. One example. If you understand the idea of taking a Fibonacci spiral in one direction and a Fibonacci spiral in the opposite direction, you will understand that the spirals where they cross and cross again and cross again and cross again will be constantly farther and farther and farther and farther and farther apart. Yes?
Correct.
Well, if you understand that that's representative of the expansion of your universe, you will understand that that's why it's accelerating, because the idea of the spiral is it has to cover more distance to reach the next nodal point. By being that particular kind of curve, it does so, and in your space-time reality, that translates out to the idea of greater distance over the same time equals acceleration. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Then there you go. Learn the vibrational state of those Fibonacci spiral nodal points, and you will understand the relationship of gravity to matter, and you will understand the idea of how to manipulate the vibrations in order to manipulate gravity's relationship to matter. That's one way to approach it. There are several ways, but that's the way that we are talking about right here in terms of the idea of geometric structure.
Okay. You spoke about the vibrational nature of matter just
Yes.
now. And that actually leads to my second question.
Oh, all right.
So when we spoke, you mentioned that in order for an object to go from location A to location B,
Yes.
all we would need to do would be to
Change the locational variable of the object itself.
Which is
because
vibration.
Location, it is a frequency within an energy equation, a signature vibration. Because location is not somewhere that an object exists in. Location is one of the properties of the object. And the object here and the object here are actually two different objects, because of the change and difference in the locational variable within the overall energy equation of that so-called object.
So in the present day, how can we measure that vibrational frequency?
Get a very, very, very flat table that's at least 6 to 10 feet long. Very flat. Take a very thin copper ball, about 3 inches, 4 inches in diameter, hollow, very thin, as perfectly round as you can make it. Put it at one end of the table. Strike it and get it to vibrate, or vibrate it through some other means. Measure those vibrations as precisely as you can. Then move the ball to the other end of the table and repeat that measurement. Find the difference in those two measurements. If your instruments are sensitive enough, you will ultimately discover the difference in those two frequencies. And when you do, then you can put the ball back in position A, and then either acoustically or electromagnetically, or any way you wish, bombard it, overwhelm it, in a sense, with the vibrational frequency that is specific to the other end of the table when the object was there, and you will see that the object will at least, if not disappear from here and wind up over there instantaneously, it will at least roll across the table to its new position and stop. And you will have begun to learn to chart the idea of that vibrational matrix map, which is what we use, and impose it over the idea of the physical reality, so that we understand, like a C chart, what the vibrational coordinates are for all the locations we wish to go to. Thus, then we isolate our ship in an electromagnetic gravitational bubble, unlock it from any particular reality, impose upon it the vibrational locational equation of where we wish to go, and thus then when we remove the bubble, pop, we disappear from there, and pop, we appear at our destination. Ultimately, you can do it that way, but begin with something like this experiment and allow your imagination to be your guide to alter it in whatever way, shape, or form you so desire. But as soon as your instruments are sensitive enough to tell the difference in the vibration of an object in two different locations, you'll be on your way to charting the vibrational map of the universe.
Perfect.
All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. Speak up, and be bold.
Okay. My question is about my household, my family.
Speak up.
Okay. I have 2 children.
Yes.
And I've been single mother for most of their life.
Yes.
And,
Well, I would assume you haven't been a double mother.
right. Just one.
All right.
I don't know about that, though. Okay.
Yes, I
so
know.
whenever I bring someone else into the household, maybe a roommate,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
intentionally created this state of harmony between me and my children. And
Yes.
then when I bring somebody else in, I watch it disintegrate. And
You are creating a state of disharmony.
am I creating that?
We are co-creating it, certainly.
So,
Nothing happens by itself.
Right,
If
of
you're
course.
experiencing it, there is at least some part of you that's involved in the co-creation somehow, especially if you believe that in some sense you're actually having an experience of this that's affecting your life, that you're creating an experience of. So obviously you have a part in co-creating this. Why?
right. Why would I choose to?
Yes, that's a good question. Why? What do you get out of choosing that? That's usually the question to ask. If there is something disharmonious in your life, something that doesn't fit, something that's not aligned with your preferred vibration, the only reason you would be involved in helping to co-create that would be that you have a belief that says that in order to do so, you're getting something out of doing it.
Right.
What would that be? And by the way, what game are you playing? Is it cards where you're not revealing your hand?
I don't know.
Playing poker, are you?
Maybe.
Not going to tell you what I'm holding on to here. What are you doing? What game are you playing? What do you get out of the idea of putting yourself in situations that seem disharmonious with respect to the idea of your children? What story are you teaching them? What stories were you taught that you are passing along to them?
That harmony doesn't exist in a family.
All right, well, so you feel that the only way harmony can exist is if you create it in some sort of isolated situation, yes? But as soon as another random element comes in, you have no capacity to allow for harmony. Is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. You believe it's beyond you, in a sense. Yes?
I don't relate to it.
You don't
Or
relate to
I've
it.
chosen not to relate to it.
All right. Well, what aspects within yourself do you find disharmonious with your true self? What beliefs are you holding on to that are disharmonious? All right, I'll ask it another way. A lot of times it's easier to find out what those negative beliefs are by going in the opposite direction with them, by amplifying and magnifying the negative beliefs. So ask yourself this: what is the most fearful, terrifying thing you can imagine might happen if you were willing to simply allow harmony in all situations?
That it would not last.
That it would not last. All right, very good. Why do you believe it would not last?
Because it hasn't.
So what? What's the past got to do with the present?
Nothing.
You know that for a fact? Guess not.
I guess not.
You understand that the present creates the past, not the other way around?
Yeah, I've experienced that.
No, all right. So the more you allow yourself to choose to be harmonious in the present and know that you can always choose to be harmonious in the present, it's not about the issue of harmony lasting, because you're putting a condition on it
Right.
that requires a, shall we say, maintenance issue, which makes it seem difficult. I have to keep doing something to maintain harmony.
Right.
But if you just prefer the vibration of harmony, you don't have to do anything other than continue to prefer the vibration of harmony in order to continue to experience harmonious realities. Again, remember what we said earlier. Even if someone else has a negative intention or disharmonious intention toward you, it won't matter, because the only thing you'll experience is harmony if that's the vibration you choose to filter everything through. You may still be able to recognize that they may be acting disharmoniously, but it won't affect you because you're not choosing to match their disharmonious vibration with your own fears. That it won't last. And thus you create self-fulfilling prophecies. I believe it won't last, therefore I attract someone who's going to be disharmonious, thus proving to me that I believe it won't last. Thus I have created this prophecy, and look how prescient I am.
Right.
You see, you're reinforcing the belief. But you see, this is what beliefs do. This is what beliefs are designed to do. By definition, any belief has to be self-reinforcing in order for you to be focused on the reality that is generated by that belief. So a negative belief is going to make it seem as if you can't have a positive belief. That's going to be tough to maintain a positive belief, because the negative belief is doing everything in its power to maintain the negative reality that goes with that belief. That's what comes with the territory. But if you understand the skeleton key, that all beliefs can be changed no matter what type of a belief it is, then even when you experience a negative belief that is attempting to reinforce itself and make it seem as if no other belief is possible, you will always be able to go to that neutral space and go, but I know that all beliefs can be changed. And then you have the key. You can unlock yourself from the negative one, and you can choose whichever one you prefer. But you have to know, you have to believe that that key of unlocking is always there for you, because every belief is going to do its utmost to reinforce itself and make it seem as if no other belief is possible. You understand?
Yes.
And that's why when you really tip the scale and really choose a positive belief system, that will also reinforce itself. And the idea that you could, quote unquote, slip into or choose a negative belief over time will become unlikely because it will seem unrealistic and irrelevant to you. Because you have positive beliefs that reinforce the idea of the realities that go with those beliefs, which doesn't include the idea that you need to choose to buy into negative ones. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Does this help you? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Yes.
And?
So I just need to hold space for myself to be harmonious in the present moment.
Well, don't you prefer the idea of harmony?
Absolutely.
Well, allow yourself thus then to use this opportunity to dive down, to investigate what beliefs you've attached to the idea that says that you cannot experience that harmony in all situations for yourself.
Okay.
When you find out and identify what that negative belief is, when you truly bring it to light, you will see most likely that it's illogical, nonsensical, has nothing to do with you, doesn't belong to you, is a belief you picked up from someone else somewhere along the road growing up, and that you've been carrying this bag around your life, and you can drop the bag because it's heavy. Anything that doesn't belong to you gets heavy. The things that belong to you are light. You understand?
Yes.
That's how you know you're dragging around a negative belief that belongs to someone else, is you start feeling weighed down by it. So, find out what it is, and as soon as you identify it, you'll see, oh, wait a minute, that makes no sense for me. That's not who I am. That belongs to so-and-so. You don't want to hold on to a belief that doesn't belong to you, because if you do, that makes you a belief thief. You're stealing other people's beliefs. You don't want to be a thief. Give those beliefs back to them. Drop them. Oh, that doesn't belong to me. It's not mine. When you know it's not yours, you'll let it go. Make sense?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask or make one more statement?
Yes.
Went to Upheaval Dome a couple of days ago,
Yes.
and it was very intense. The
Yes.
energy
I told you it would be.
up top, but we actually hiked down into the bottom and got close to the center of it.
Yes.
And I actually didn't really feel much down there.
That's all right. It's a different composition down there.
Can you explain a little more about that?
When the asteroid struck and created the crater that you now refer to as Upheaval Dome, a lot of the highly salted mineral down below was pushed up into the center, which is why it's a different color than the surrounding rock. Mm-hmm. The idea of the salt is a neutralizer. Do you not know this in your old occult practices? Oh, salt, neutralize the negative energy, yes?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, that's an intuitive understanding that salt, the vibration of salt, in a sense, is a neutralizer. And that's why you don't feel it so much down there. It's like the eye of a hurricane. Everything's calm and still. The energy's there. The vortex is there. It's just as strong. It's just that it's a neutralizing, balancing vibration so that it buffers you and you don't feel it as much as you do in the surrounding areas. Yes?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that help you?
My friend that went with me, who's also my new roommate that I was talking about, when we went, the reason we went was he got a message that just go there and we will meet you there. So there was some kind of expectation or anticipation, maybe.
What did we tell you about following your excitement and expectation?
Right, and I felt like the experience of going on an 11-hour hike that we almost didn't. We got lost and it was kind of scary.
Yes. Sounds like fun.
That was right? Like I felt my perception was that the experience was the whole, just
Yes.
being present and
Yes. And it gives you an opportunity to explore and examine different vibrational states that are representative of different parallel realities so that you can decide which one you prefer.
cool.
Believe me,
Okay.
when any of you are truly ready, as you say, nothing will stop the idea of contact. We've been doing this a long time. We know what we're doing. Trust us. And as we have also said, many of you actually already had contact, you just don't remember. And the rate at which you actually remember that you've had contact, whether in dreams or memories or what have you, we use as a barometer to determine when you're ready for more contact. So, let it unfold naturally. Don't have an expectation or an insistence or an assumption on how you think it needs to unfold. We've done this before, we'll do it again, and in the future, so will you with another planet. So learn our techniques now because you're going to use them generations hence when you become another civilization's UFOs. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Nania,
Yes,
are you approaching your refreshment period?
we are. How intuitive of you.
Why, thank you. Thus then, we will extend to each of you our deep appreciation for the co-creation of this interaction, which we will continue after your refreshment break. Go and be energized and relax. Our unconditional love to you all.
Thank you,
going?
everyone. How's it going?
Good.
Yes, how good. They're still here, Daryl.
Huh?
They're still here.
Yeah,
That's
they're
a good
still
sign.
here. Okay.
Okay, we will reconvene after lunch at approximately 2 p.m. So see you all then.